I morally thought it was important that I smuggle drugs every time I cross a border, which caused me to smuggle drugs into China, Dubai, United Arab Emirates, all the places where they would have fucking hung me.
Aloha and welcome to this episode of Experts and Idiots, featuring me, 420 Chilli Sash, and my very good mate, head honcho of the Capsaicin Cartel in Quebec, Canada, El Jefe, otherwise known as Nico. Now, what you might know about me, what you might know about my friend over there in Canada, is that we're a couple of chili heads, that's for sure correct. But also, we're a couple of reformed wasters. See, I was very much a drug addict with a little bit alcoholism on the side, and he was very much an alcoholic with a little bit drug addiction on the side. And both of us have recovered. Now, today we have drug war stories for you, the Alternative Recovery Extreme Chili Challenge. Now, what's that all about? Well, recovery. Recovery does not always mean that you have to find God and give everything up and hate your previous lifestyle and your previous life and all of that stuff. No. Recovery isn't a one-size-thing-fits everybody. And a lot of people, like myself and the dear El Jefe over here, we recovered, but that doesn't mean we hate our former lives. For sure, we had a problem. We needed to get better, but we also had a fuck ton of fun. And we like to sit down and enjoy remembering that. It helps us with our recovery. And that's what we've got for you today. A nasty burn session with our various poisons. I'm on my favourite, the Hindenburg candy floss. Lovely, lovely chili extract. We'll blow your tits off that. And my boy, El Jefe, is on his favourite at the moment, which is his own personal green Reaper sauce from the Capsaicin Cartel. So, we're going to have a burn, and we're going to have a little wander through the many years of misspent youth that we have behind us. Enjoy.
Long life, very good health.
Fuck that.
Oh. Let's see if I manage not to vomit today. That'll be good. Dude. Yeah, for me.
Green Reaper, baby. Fuck it. I'm on fire.
This is Reaper and Candy Floss. So I'm on fire, but I'm at a fairground at the same time. Do you know what I'm saying? It's kind of that feeling, you know? Excuse me. Oh, boy. Hey. Oh, dude. Yeah, for me, it was a love affair at first sight. It really was. Drugs. It was drugs. I accidentally took some hallucinogenic mushrooms when I was very, very small. And I had no memory of it, really. But then, when I was about 11 years old, 11 in fact, we heard about LSD. We'd heard about it, and something in me remembered tripping, which had happened by accident many years before. And we got ourselves some. We got ourselves some from the bigger boys in the playing arcades. Very fashionable then. That was where we used to hang out, you know, like computer game arcades. And we got some acid. And I took it. I was 11. Bitch, I tell you what, it was love at first sight. It was like I had discovered what was missing from my life. And within the first seconds of coming up on the first time I ever took drugs, LSD, it was, oh, Jesus. I think I had potentially the most important learning experience of my whole life. It was like aged 11. I came up on the acid, and my mate who I was with said, let's go to the park and buy some fucking ice cream or something like that. Do you have money? And I opened my hand up to look at the money, and there was money and sweeties. And it was not possible. Yeah, some sweeties, extra strong mints, in fact, to be precise. And it was not possible for me to count how much money I had because they kept blending together, you know, the money and the sweeties visually. And then I suddenly realized that money and sweeties were in fact the same thing. The only difference with them was, you know, I mean, it's just energy condensed to a point, you know, that's what they are. And the only difference was that I put a value on one of them and not on the other one, you know, on the money and not on the sweets. And that thought process, that saved my life again and again since then. Like, as I've grown up and I got tax problems or something like that, you know? So the minute the big bill comes in, I just remember that. It's like, hang on. This is about something as important as sweeties. Yeah, I mean, like, and so that was it. For me, then I was in love. It was love with drugs, and it was particularly psychedelic drugs. I don't know about you. I mean, for me, my problem was really a drugs problem. It was never an alcohol problem. I wouldn't say I was ever an alcoholic. I was definitely a drug addict, like substance abuser, but alcohol came with it, but not, it wasn't the focus. But you were more of an alcohol guy. What was the first time when you got out of your face and you fell in love with it? Was it alcohol? Was it drugs?
Well, to be honest, it's like, if I think about it, it was my dad, you know. Oh, I was like 8 years old. Let's give him a beer, and then we're going to go in the car and then drive around the camping. You know, we were camping, and let's see if he can drive the car. So I was put on his lap because I couldn't, you know, I could just reach the steering wheel. That was it. And I had a whole can of, I think, Heineken in me or something. And at that moment, I was like, oh, this is kind of cool. I can't really recall much more. But at the age of 11, 12, we got invited to our first disco. Yeah, it was a disco. It wasn't the club or whatever. It was disco. We went to the liquor store, and we bought the cheapest shit we could get, and it was like sangria. You know, the really nasty shit. And we bought like 3 bottles of it, and it was like $3 a bottle or $3.50 a bottle, whatever. It didn't cost anything. And I downed almost that whole bottle before we went to the disco, because we couldn't afford a beer in the disco, because it was like what, a buck a beer or something, and we didn't have money. So let's down this bottle of sangria and let's go to the disco. I was fucking hammered and I loved it. And then we started smoking pot while being hammered. Yeah, one of the nicest thing for me how drugs started is me and a friend, Peter, got on a train, went to Rotterdam. It was like a 20-minute train ride. We went to the coffee shop. They didn't give a shit if you were 15, 12, or 18. They sell you whatever. So we bought a shitload of hash and we bought a shitload of weed. We started smoking, and then we got back on the train. And on the train, there was a little painting hanging, and I think it was a Jackson Pollock painting. I'm not 100% on it, but it started moving, and maybe it was Van Gogh, the sunflowers.
Okay.
And everything started moving, and I was like, wow, this is cool. Then we got off the train. By the way, we went over where we needed to stop because we were both like looking at that fucking painting. So we needed to take the train back, and then we got off, and we were like, you need to smoke this, man. This is fantastic. Within 2 years, we were doing, 2, 3 years, we started doing ecstasy. And ecstasy it just came out, and that shit was potent. You took half a pill, and you will bounce for the whole weekend.
I remember those fucking days with ecstasy when it was really strong. Honestly, I do, man. Fuck yeah. We used to buy myself, when the ecstasy revolution came to England. Oh, time for a hitter. When the ecstasy revolution came to England, it was 89 to 90. And wow. Boy.
Woo!
Excuse me. Yeah, it was about. So I was born 78, and so therefore When ecstasy came to England, I was around about 12, 13, and it was about a year after I took acid. And before that, what we used to do was, in the illegal rave time, we used to do whiz and trips. So that meant acid and speed that we were taking. And then the first ecstasy came, and it was like a tablet that did both of those things together without having to do them both. And the speed was getting hard to take, man. There was like fashionable speed at that time. I've learned later it was being produced in the Czech Republic. Pink champagne was the name of the speed. It was virulent pink, like psychedelics, wet, and like strings. And so if you tried to be like a grown-up and put it up your nose instead of swallowing it, then what that meant is you had all this kind of like long pink strings hanging out your nose for some many hours. Do you know what I mean? And then ecstasy came, and the first pills that were around, speckled doves.
Wait.
So, that is the end of part 1 of our 3-part trilogy. Tune in right now to part number 2. I'll see you there.
You'd say it's like the Holy Trinity, isn't it? The alcohol, the weed, and the ecstasy. Yeah.